Hi folks, Dave Schmidt. It's the afternoon of June 7th as I'm coming to you today. And I'm here at my home in Sedona, and you can see I'm dressed a little different because we've had some pretty hot weather here in the last week. But this week, once again, I'm going to do something different. First of all, I'm not going to do a radio program because it's time for me to go into a quiet zone. And take that as a very good sign. In the last 2 weeks, I've had some very, very important contacts and information, and I'm talking with a lot of other people, and we're all beginning to receive the same collaboration and realizing things are approaching very closely to accomplishing what we would like to have done with the finances. So I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to read to you my newsletter that I'll be posting. So it will also be here on YouTube for you as well. So here we go. I'm going into a quiet zone, and I won't be doing a radio program this week, and take that as a good sign. When I was a state senator, I learned very quickly how to get to the bottom of an issue. What did someone really want from me, and why did they want my vote? Invariably, it always came down to a bottom line question. Follow the money. Well, for 3 years now, I've been taking my own advice, following the money with these currency exchanges. If you want to be paid, who's going to buy your currency from you? And who's putting up the money for your supposed exchange? And when you ask this question, listen to the answer. Or many times there's a lack of an answer, and it will tell you the truth of the statement the others are making. So the question is, who is your buyer? How reliable are they? And where are the contracts? And are they backed up by a lawful process? And are they willing to put themselves on the line for going to jail for fraud if they aren't willing to tell the truth and deliver? The real currency buyers and the real sources of funding, they don't talk on the blog sites. They don't let themselves be known to the public, and they do not care about what is being reported in various circles. To those with the real money, all those blog sites are just senseless pieces of deliberate disinformation. The serious ones stay quiet, and they stay behind the scenes. They know this is not a joke, as they have experienced multiple people being murdered for saying too much, and that statement is not a joke. They also know the cabal does not want this RVGCR to happen. A GCR, a global currency reset, is the end of the Federal Reserve and their Federal Reserve note currencies. It's the end of their power and control. And that is why they have experienced so many delays and why it continues to drag on. They're doing everything they can to stop this transition and to keep their power. The good news is they're losing the battle, and their power grip is losing control. The real buyers are also, the real buyers know there's no way the cabal is going to let thousands of people become overnight multi-billionaires by simply receiving an 800 number and walking into a bank or an exchange center. There is no way in hell they're going to allow everyday moms and pops join them in the elite 1% of the wealthiest people in the world. And that's why most of the stuff that you read on the blog sites is just deliberate disinformation. It always takes a degree of common sense to think this through. It says, who's really in control? We've been under what is called hundreds of years of financial slavery from these masterful cabals, and do you think they are really going to let everyday folks in the hundreds of thousands and a couple of a million of them all of a sudden become the 1% wealthy elite as well? Of course not. There is no way they are going to allow that to happen. So the blog writers seldom talk about the source of their funds. Or if they do, it's in the forms of hazy and unreliable and untraceable information. Notice how the posters on the blog sites seldom, if ever, use their real names. What are they trying to hide from? Why is it that they cannot be honest and truthful with you? And why do they never give information about their sources? We understand some information is confidential, but use common sense, folks. Where are those 5,500 exchange centers that they've been talking about multiple times for months? Where are the thousands upon thousands of workers in these exchange centers? There's over 300,000 active duty and reserve military personnel here in the United States. And where are the individuals who have exchanged on these military bases? I'm still waiting for just one of those workers to come forward and say that, hey, I'm a worker at an exchange center and I'm at this location and this is very real. They don't need to give me their names, but just come forward and say, I'm one of them. And I'm still waiting for one military person to come forward and say, I have exchanged at this military base and this is my commander of the unit that I'm in and he will verify my exchange. It's always someone else reporting this secondhand, and it's never first-hand information of a reality of this stuff. For 3 years, I've been following the money, and the only place on this planet that has the money to pay for these currency exchanges are the Dragon family and the elders and their sources in Asia. I've made 3 trips to China to meet with the elders in the Dragon family. I have an open invitation to go back again in the near future. I have 8 different contacts, either directly or secondhand with the elders and the family. I have seen and have in my possession countless pictures of gold beyond comprehension from these caves and these bunkers and these storage centers. I've talked with keepers face-to-face on Skype from undisclosed locations in Asia. I've seen original bank documents with bent dog ears signed in blue ink detailing trillions and trillions of dollars in bank accounts all around the world. I was sitting next to an individual in Hong Kong when there was an assassination attempt on his life. A few days later, he was scheduled to take me into one of these storage facilities of the largest gold storage center located in China. Obviously, that assassination attempt was to keep me out of the storage center. I've met in person with someone reported to be the largest currency buyer in the world. All of my sources report that there will never, ever be a public exchange at the higher rates. They all report that there are no buyers putting up the money where you'll receive an 800 number and report to an exchange center. They all report there are no 5,500 exchange centers with thousands and thousands of workers. And they all report that the exchange, though, is very real, but it will only be done in private exchanges with legal contracts that you will have to sign before any funds will be released to you. These are the real sources of the funds, and these are the real buyers of these currencies. Part of me would absolutely love to be wrong and to see us to be able to walk into a bank with our dinar and our dong and become a multimillionaire on the spot. But all of my reliable sources say that will never happen. If you are a reliable source of trillions of dollars, if you are a reliable buyer of these funds, would you please come forward and contact me and let's talk? I'll keep our information confidential. I'll keep our conversations confidential. I'm just looking for somebody in this process who's real and they're not just talking about it. If you're a worker at one of these 5,500 reported exchange centers, if you're an individual in the military who has exchanged, I would love to talk with you and change my story if your story is real. I'll keep our conversation confidential. Now, folks, if you're going to email me with senseless and stupid attacks without doing your homework or your own good investigation work, then don't expect a response from me. Those type of senseless responses will immediately go into my junk mail files. The thousands upon thousands of innocent and honest people who have bought dinar and dong deserve the truth. It's time for the senseless and stupid reports to stop. And it's time for the countless and unfulfilled promises to stop. It's time to let the truth be made known. It's time to say, show me the money. Show me the money. Show me something that's real. And if you aren't willing to step up and produce something that's real and not just talk, and if you're not willing to show me the money, then it's time for you to just shut up and go away. Thank you very much for listening this week. I'll have more coming in the following week. All right, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.